Hey guys, Tom from EverydayGamers.com, and just want to go ahead and put up another video tonight. This time I'm going to go ahead and do a review on the PSP system. I got a request from my buddy xxTheDarkKnight just asking me if I could go ahead and do this, so I decided, yeah, sure. I haven't, done a video like this before. I'll just go ahead and give you guys some of my thoughts and opinions on the PSP system, and I'll show you some gameplay footage as well. Just so maybe any of you out there who aren't sure about the PSP, maybe you're sitting on the fence, this will help you maybe possibly make an informed decision on whether or not the PSP is a system or a console that you should go ahead and pick up. One thing to keep in mind, there's three different PSP versions. There's the PSP 1000, which was the original fat PSP. That was the larger one, the first model that they came out with. And a little bit of a heavier system, but technically everything else was the same as far as the features. With each new iteration, Sony didn't really change much. They just changed the overall feel and not even really the look of the system, but more so the feel. The PSP 2000, which is what both of my consoles are, I've got that one and the God of War one. I'll show you those a little bit later on in the video. That's when Sony went ahead and decided to make the PSP a little bit the weight factor. It's much lighter and almost feels at first like it's cheaply made. However, from my experience with it, it's not cheaply made. It's a little bit different. They did, instead of using with the first model a spring-loaded UMD, I guess you would call it drive, they now have it to where you actually just pop it open. That's one thing that I don't necessarily like, but I can also say that that's not necessarily a bad thing as well, because I've seen problems before with the spring-loaded door becoming hung up, not working properly. This way, I've never had any problems with the newer PSP model. The big changes on the PSP 3000 was the fact that they made the screen a little bit brighter. With that, there were some issues with ghosting, and I haven't been able to experience that firsthand because I don't have a 3000, but from everything that I've heard, there's some problems with the way the system, when you're playing a game, it's just got this ghosting pattern. If you're not familiar with what ghosting is basically the image is almost like leaves a streak behind it. Essentially ghosting is what it sounds like. But that's not a major issue from my personal perspective. I've seen some video footage on it, and it's a little bit of an annoyance, but it's not something that would be a deterrent for me. Now, to kind of point out some of the flaws with the PSP. Everybody knows that it would be nice if there's a second analog stick. I don't consider that to be a huge flaw and a huge problem. Now, it would have been good if Sony had addressed that with the PSP Go. However, they've decided to go a different route, make the PSP smaller, make it so that they can focus on digital distribution. Now, some of the main issues that I personally see with it is that in 2008 there was really a slump in the amount of software that was put out on the PSP. You did have games like Patapon, and towards the end of the year Loco Roco, and I think even God of War. God of War may not have been 2008, it might have been 2007, but however, that game did come out recently. So there was some drop off with the amount of support that we saw from outside manufacturers with what Sony announced at E3. It looks like the developers are getting back on board. There's going to be some new games coming out, and you've got some really interesting titles already out there that if you guys are kind of on the fence still, I think that there are enough games that for an average gamer or a hardcore gamer, you'll have enough fun with the system. Let me go ahead and show you what I have, and I'll show you the systems and give you a brief rundown of both of the consoles. Alright, so here are my two PSPs. I've got, like I said, the God of War Special Edition. This is the one that came out with God of War Chains of Olympus bundled in. And as you can see, you've got the image of Kratos on the back here. And you've got everything else is standard except for the red color, which personally looks very appealing to me. the main PSP, I actually don't even play this one, but I do play this one. This is my modded PSP 2000. This here, I actually have custom firmware on here, and I didn't do that necessarily so I could play modded games or so that I could play ripped PSP games, but I did that for a few reasons. Number one, I wanted to be able to play emulators, and number two, I like to check out the homebrew every once in a while to see what that community is doing. Now, some of the things that I said as far as the features of this console here, you've got that pop-out door here, so you've got really nothing that holds that UMD in place, but the UMD, just kind of pops in there, put it in there, and then you've got the power switch on the side here. You do have, this is a little bit of a different change. It's no longer like a hinge system. It's more of, it just pops out and it sticks out there for the memory stick, and then the memory stick just pops out of here. You have all the face buttons here. You have the home button, which will take you back to the main menu, volume button, start button, and then the traditional X, circle, square, triangle button, the D-pad, which actually is a really nice D-pad, has a good feel to it, and also the analog nub. Now with this PSP, like I said, this has the white buttons. These face buttons don't come on the piano black PSP, but I did take the ones that were on my Star Wars PSP, which unfortunately was broken, and I put them on here. So it kind of makes it look a little bit cooler. But let me go ahead and show you guys some gameplay. So hopefully, as you guys can see, the PSP is a pretty capable handheld system. Not perfect by any means, and there are some flaws with the system, but just like any other system, it's not perfect. So, to anybody out there who's a handheld gamer who loves gaming on the go, I definitely would recommend a PSP. It's a system that, as far as power, we haven't seen anything that can quite do what the PSP can do in terms of handheld systems. So, my recommendation is, to at least give it a try, check it out. And if you have any other questions, feel free to let me know. But that was just a little sampling of some of the incredible games available for the system. So, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hope that answers some of your questions. xxTheDarkKnight, and I'll talk to you guys soon.